The best way for me to describe Robert Kelley and Blue Mist impact is that Robert Kelley and Blue Mist are the soundtrack of my life. There have been some important milestones that they've been a part of. Had Robert Kelley and Blue Mist be the musicians at our wedding when my wife Dixie and I got married 24 years ago. I professionally have hired Blue Mist to be a part of our community soundtrack, if you will. When I was the chair of the Austin Mayor's Committee for People with Disabilities, we always had a strong policy of hiring artists with disabilities. You know, we basically wanted to walk the talk. And time after time, the most popular artist for us to hire was Blue Mist.
Robert always had a dream to kind of have he wanted an all-blind band, you know, everybody. And he asked us, I think it was around 1987, 88, if we'd like to join. And we slowly moved over and got with Blue Mist, and we've been there ever since.
Robert and I officially met at a house party in 85 or 86, I believe. I knew that he was the founder of the Blue Mist Band at that time. I also knew that he was working on a studio album at that time. And he actually played some of the tracks from that album that wasn't quite complete yet, finished, but he showed us like what was going on. When we were there with Robert that evening, Rodney asked him, "Why don't you want us to join your band?" But we found out that night, he said, "No, I do want you in the band. Let me, let me get started the process. We'll bring you in one at a time, So that's what happened. That's how we started.
When I heard Robert's music, it immediately sort of hit home for me because, I'm really a huge fan and very influenced by, classic R&B, Motown and those sorts of things. And so, with Robert, when I heard his voice and heard the music, immediately I was reminded of some of these great artists in the past, like Teddy Pendergrass, Marvin Gaye, and just got this great feeling from his music. And, Robert gave me a CD during our interview, and I went home that evening and played it, and I think it hasn't left my CD player in my car since that time.
When anybody hear Robert, when they hear him sing, they're like, this guy's got a great voice. I mean, he's definitely, if you're walking by, you're going to stop for a minute and go, hey, who is that, And that's the kind of reaction he's always has gotten through the years. He's just, he's a real hard worker. He takes his vocals very seriously, which helps out a lot because, once you see a leader working that hard, you definitely want to follow in those footsteps.
He's a good front man in that he knows the objectives that he wants to accomplish when he brings some material in or if we're working on a specific project. But at the same time, he's also very open to allowing all the band members' ideas to be expressed as well and add to the project.
I think it's so important that we have leaders like Robert in Austin because, he's been here for decades making music in Austin. And, when we talk about equity for musicians in Austin, Robert's been doing that not only for the Black community, but also for the disabled community for many, many, many years. So, with Blue Mist Band, he's given a lot of amazing musicians in this town an opportunity to get out and play live performances.
Austin's the music capital of the world, right? And I jokingly say Austin has a million guitar players who can sing. Robert Kelley can sing, and he can hold an audience. I was reading on their website and getting reacquainted with some of the things they've been involved in. The opening of our city hall, the opening of Austin Bergstrom International Airport. As I said, they've been part of the soundtrack for all these years and the soundtrack of our lives.
Hey, Robert, Rodney here. I'd like to congratulate you on this award. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that Austin is seeing you as a pillar of the community who works hard at musically and keeping your art form going. And I know you're not going to stop here. So congratulations and keep moving forward.
Hey, Robert, this is Ron Lucy. I want to say congratulations to you for winning this award. And thanks once again for playing at my wife's and my wedding 24 years ago. I was put on an amazing show, and thanks for being such a great part of Austin, Texas. Congratulations.
Hey, Robert, congratulations. I am so happy that you're winning this award. I think that it's been long overdue for you to get an award like this. Thank you for allowing me and Rodney to be a part of Blue Mist for all of these years. Not only are you our musical friend, but you are our musical brother. You're our brother. Not only you're our musical brother, but you're our brother in spirit as well. And we love you, man. Thank you so much.
Hi, Robert. It's your friend Pat Buckta here, Executive Director of Austin, Texas Musicians. And I couldn't be more proud than I am today in congratulating you for being awarded the Art Spark Texas 2020 Haven Street Allen Artist of the Year Award. You're a legend and a leader in the Austin music community and a true champion for people of all abilities. And more than that, you inspire me to no end. Every time we speak, you sign off by telling me that you love me. So I'm honored today to say the very same to you. I love you, brother, and congratulations.
Okay. Go for it. Hi, I'm Celia Hughes, the Executive Director of Art Spark Texas, and I'm here with Robert Kelley. We're standing in front of Eddie V's, which is the restaurant bar that he and his band Blue Mist, they played before COVID. They played here twice a week for months and months and months. So we came back to Eddie V's today so that we could honor Robert and the many years of musical pleasure that he's given to Austin, and honor him with the Haven Street Allen Artist of the Year Award from Art Spark, Texas. Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you all are doing well. Let me begin by thanking Sharon Shaw with Nobility for nominating me for this award. I'd also like to thank Celia and Art Spark Texas for selecting me as the Haven Street Allen Artist of the Year. I'm grateful and I feel honored to be a part of this wonderful group of recipients. To be quite honest with you all, I didn't know about this award. I'd never even heard of it. I'd never even heard of Art Spark Texas. So when Celia sent me the email notifying me that I had received this award, the first thing I thought, of course, was that it was spam and that somebody was trying to fish. You know, as I read farther and I saw Sharon Shaw's name, then I began to believe that it was legit. I thought that I was aware of most people in this town who had something to do with disabilities and work with people with disabilities, because I had worked with most of the people for over 40 years in some capacity. This just goes to show that you don't really know what you think you know, and it's never too late to learn something new. It's a great thing to be honored for the work that you do. However, I do realize that I didn't do this alone. I was fortunate enough to have a great support system behind me. I owe a debt of gratitude to my wife, my friends, my family, my fans, for the love and support that they've shown me over these 40 some odd years. Most of all, I'd like to thank my bandmates, Rodney Hyder, Jimmy Vinson, Brad Schultz, Nick Lewis, and Chapin Shade, and all of the wonderful musicians that I've had the pleasure of working with over these many years. When I formed my group, Blue Mist Band, while attending the University of Texas, back in the day. This was a thought to provide a vehicle and a place for blind musicians to be happy with and to be able to get to the shows and not worry about transportation and things like that. Who would have known that I would be here 40-some years later, still playing music, still performing, still trying to represent what disabled people can do in the music industry. As a blind musician, a person with a disability, I'm not asking for a handout or any special treatment. We're only asking for the opportunity to show what we can do if given the chance to participate. As we all know, it's not easy to change minds, and it's not easy to fight stereotypes day in and day out. However, you have to be an advocate for yourself. You can't wait for somebody else to do it for you. Let me give you an example of what I mean by stereotypes. When I was at the University of Texas, I was the first totally blind person to be in the drama department. I had done some acting at TSBVI in high school with no problem. However, they found out that there was a blind person in the drama department, so I was called in to the office by some lady in middle management, and the first thing she said to me was, "What are you doing in acting? What are you doing in drama?" And me being the smart, ass that I was at the time, I said, "I'm acting." And she said, "But you're blind." And then she proceeded to tell me of this guy that she knew in New York who was blind, and automatically whatever he couldn't do, I couldn't do. So at this point, I was determined that they wouldn't be able to kick me out of drama in the middle of my second semester. So she started asking me about colors and set designs and different things like that, all of the things that you might need to see to be able to do. Well, I had my sight up until I was 11 years old, so I had an understanding of the colors and things like that, and I know things don't change that terribly much. So what I did to get around this problem is I went and I found a lady in the graduate school who was getting her degree in rehabilitation for blind and visually impaired people. And she became my eyes. So all of the things that I couldn't do, she did for me. And the whole deal with that was that part of my grade was to be able to work with the production for that semester. Well, to make a long story short, I stayed in the drama department, and they wanted to put me in charge of all the sound effects for the production, which was the best job in the world for me. One thing my mom told me was that don't let anyone tell you can't do it, especially when you know that you can. And if you're trying something and you need some help, don't be afraid to ask. This advice that she gave me was reinforced by my teachers at TSBVI when I attended school there. They believed in us. They treated us as normal, everyday kids. They pushed us to be our best and to do the best that you can every time you were in a situation where you were in the public. As I see it, as a working musician in Austin, Texas, who happens to be blind, I'm not asking for any more than any other sighted musician would ask for. I expect the same respect and the same treatment from booking agents and my audience as the sighted musician. In closing, Again, I'd like to thank my family, my friends, my fans, Celia, Hughes, and ArtSpark Texas for selecting me as their Artist of the Year. And to let you know that I will cherish this award all the days of my life and the rest of the days that I have on this planet. Thank you very much.